Okay, to start your ornament project, you're going to take our circle templates and trace this circle 3 times on your drawing paper. And it doesn't really matter where you put them because we're going to be cutting them out later anyway. The next thing we want to add our topper to our ornament, and here I'm just adding a quick little trapezoid with a little ring so it can look like our ornaments are hanging, and I'm adding a little base to the topper just to look like it's attached to the globe, orb, sphere, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to repeat that for each ornament. Now that I've drawn my 3 ornaments and the outside edges, I'm going to start decorating them. You can put whatever kind of picture you want inside your ornament. Just make sure you fill your ornament and make it look interesting. And I'm drawing a snowman in this one. And I'm just quickly sketching it out, drawing lightly in case I need to erase. And adding any smaller details. Now I'm going to speed it up a little bit so you can see the other pictures I'm drawing. I'm going to be drawing a Christmas tree with a fireplace, and my last one is going to be a little winter landscape with a barn and a little tree or two around it and some snowflakes. Now I'm going to start coloring and using my colored pencils, just putting a quick layer of colored pencil down, making it nice and colorful. The really cool part is adding shadow and value to your ornament to make it look three-dimensional. We want to make our ornament look round because it is a round ornament. It's an orb. So I'm taking my black colored pencil and just shading, going from dark to light. To make my pencil lighter, I just put less pressure as I'm coloring. And you could also even use a blue or maybe a dark color that matches your ornament to add a little bit of value. Since my sky was blue on this one, I chose a dark blue colored pencil to do a little bit of shading. And so you can repeat that for all of your ornaments, and you can also add a little bit of shading to the topper to make it look 3D. You can also use a white colored pencil to blend your colors a little bit. And that just kind of mixes the colors a little bit, gives it a little bit more smoothness. And so here you can see my ornament. I'm going to add a few little finer details that I may have forgot using a black colored pencil, add a few more shadows, add a little bit of more shadow with my blue colored pencil on the snowman to make him look 3D. And I'm going to fast forward so you can see all of my ornaments. Ta-da! The next thing we're going to do is cut them out. So fast forward again. Ta-da! And there are my 3 ornaments. Okay, now it's time for our background. And we are going to be using oil pastels. So I'm starting with a brown oil pastel to create 3 branches. And it's just basically a curved line, but I try to make my line a little bit thicker as it gets to the edge of the paper to look like a real branch. And I'm just going to fill that in and make sure I'm adding plenty of pressure. The next color I'm using is a dark green, and sometimes you might need to peel your oil pastel paper off to get the color. And I'm just creating these dash marks or just straight lines off the edges of the branch to look like pine needles. And I'm just going to speed that up a little bit. Next color I'm using is a lighter green or a lime green. And I'm just going back over those dark green lines and adding a little bit of value. And the last color to add some highlights is white. So I'm repeating this process all over again with just a white oil pastel. Now I'm going to add a little bit of a highlight to the branches to make them look three-dimensional by blending the white oil pastel on top of the brown branches. And I'm also going to take the black oil pastel and add a little bit of shadow. This makes them really pop. And you might want to take a little bit of the black and add a few darker pine needles to the branches to give it a little bit more depth and a little bit more shadows. And I'm just going to go in with any other colors. If I see any sparse areas I'd like to fill in, you could also go put some needles over the branches to make them look a little bit more covered and a little bit more realistic. Next, I'm taking the white oil pastel again to add snowflakes. And I'm just going to create various sizes of snowflakes, little circles, little dots, to look like some snowflakes are far away and some are closer up. You could choose to draw your snowflakes different if you'd like. Okay, the next step, we are going to plan out where you want your ornaments to go. You want them to look like they are hanging off the tree branch and not floating on top of the tree branch. So this means one of my ornaments is going to hang off the paper a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to take a black oil pastel and fill in the little loops on my ornaments so you don't have that big white spot of paper that we couldn't cut out. And it just blends your ornament in with the paper and looks like an actual loop. The last step is to glue your ornaments down, and just remember to use just a dot, not a lot. You don't have to use a huge amount of glue because it's going to squeeze out on the edges. So on my ornaments I'm using 3 small little dots and I'm signing my name with a white colored pencil. And after that, you are all finished, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thanks.